Holy shit! Why is it gotta be, like, negative a billion outside, but then inside the car, it's like 1,000 million fucking degrees? It's like, if you're gonna be hot, be hot. If you're gonna be cold, be cold. Holy shit, there's people in the parking lot, what the fuck? Excuse my greasy ass hair, I got a couple things to tell you. This is not a secret live action video, I promise. Echo will be in this video. It is the primary source of this, like, hour-long adventure. It's almost an hour long. I wanted to tell you a couple things. First off, let me fucking... That did nothing. Cool, great. Fucking fantastic! First off is I did a collaboration, woo 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 woo, you know it, with Fabulous Aura. Someone who's way more popular than I am. Doing collaborations like every other video, for fuck's sake. This guy is insane with the work ethic. He's super funny, and we played Minecraft, which, you know, is like the official sign of giving up on YouTube, so... I'll link to that in the description if I fucking remember, which I fucking better, because I'm keeping this in the video, so if it's not in the description and y'all are seeing this, fucking comment and it's not there, just fucking yell at me. I am inviting you to yell at me, which is something that I don't usually do, but you know, I gotta be better than me. So, that happened. I thought it was pretty fun. It's called Pity Titties, so there you go. Number two, the second thing is that, you know, this video's coming out early, which you might have noticed. And why the fuck is that? Well, happy Halloween, motherfuckers. It's Halloween time. This video's coming out. And yeah, I work on Halloween, which sucks, but I'm gonna be dressing up as the fourth Doctor Who, I believe. Oh, you fucking think you're just gonna go around me? It's a fucking 30, you dipshit. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, it's fucking Jesse. Oh, you son of a bitch. That's my friend Jesse. You fucker. Let me see if I can pull up right next to him. He didn't even notice. He doesn't know it's me. He doesn't know it's me. Well, I'm gonna leave him in the dust, because it's a 40 now, and this car got pickup. So let me just fucking all the way to 40 in 2 seconds. Woo! 2 seconds, damn. But yeah, that motherfucker way back there, he got stuck behind a van. That poor fuck. Oh man. But so I work on Halloween, dressing up as the fourth Doctor Who. It's great, it's fun, it's fantabulous. And this video is going up on Halloween. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. It's Spooky Candy Day. Why am I mentioning this? Well, it's because tonight, when I get off of work, I get off work at like 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I might not be home right after work. I gotta, like, probably go to Walmart, pick up fucking anti-sick medicine, because I'm fucking sick! I'm sick as fuck, and I'm screaming in a car! And I still gotta go to work, because, I gotta pay bills. Gotta pay bills, that's all I fucking do. They're sending them gimmicks in the mail called bills. Man gotta pay his bills. They don't pay his bills, they're gonna set off the water. He ain't gonna have any H2O. He ain't gonna be on hard times, daddy. That's what's up. So, I gotta fucking do the do and go to work. But after work, I'm gonna be, doing a live stream. Oh, this fucker took my parking spot. Oh, I am going to rain hell upon thee. You fucking, who the hell? Oklahoma? Get the hell out of here, Oklahoma plates. Alright, so, there's a live stream happening on Halloween, because it's a holiday that is my favorite holiday, and I like it. So, what's going on this one? Why does it have to do with Echo coming out? It's a live stream of Echo, because it's a horror game, and, what the fuck? This Oklahoma car has a hand with a face on the rear view. And it's looking right at me, and I don't like it. I'm going to be live streaming Echo for a while. I don't know how long. It's kind of to make up for the fact that I didn't do Nerd's Eye View last week, because I've been sick. And I won't be doing it tomorrow, because I work tomorrow. Sorry about that. I'm going to be just playing Echo for a while. It's just going to be like an extra long episode. and I'm looking forward to it. The game is super fun. I really like it, and I hope you enjoy. So that's why this episode came out early, so that y'all will be caught up with what I've recorded going into the live stream. So make sure you watch this first. I'll let you know in the live stream to watch this first. And I think that's enough talking. Let's get to the goddamn episode, because the episode's long enough as it is. So I'll see you tonight. I've never made that sound before in my life. Bye, everyone! Now to the actual video.
Hello, everyone. My name is Decker Link, the Trained Unprofessional, and welcome back to Echo. I'm just gonna fucking say it. On the last episode, we're really finding out a little more about Carl and how introverted he is, and there was something about Duke running up and pointing and screaming and stuff, and I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But I guess we're gonna find out more in this one, so let's get started. So it's over with Leo, huh? Carl waves his controller around like he's gonna help him avoid my 3-spike throw, almost knocking over his beer bottle. It hits him anyway, and he gives a little grunt of annoyance. I grin and consider letting up on him because he's clearly drunk. Seems that way. He hasn't really talked to me much since I got here. Leave out the part that it's probably my leave out the part that's probably my fault. that. Carl lets out a weird little sound as I punch his character, as if he were the one getting punched instead. Well, that sucks. Does it suck? He's looking intently at the screen. Still, I get the feeling he's not paying full attention because it's getting easier and easier to nail his character with my combos. I don't really know yet. It's been 3 years. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. Takes that long to kick in for you? When Tanya dumped me because I felt like I couldn't get out of bed for a week. Oh, God. I remember that back in high school when we were both 16. Didn't she get you into pot? Carl lets out a snort again as I flip kick his demon character in a chin. Yep, and thanks Satan for it. What the fuck, Satan? I don't know how else I would have gotten over her. Anyway, not to be a dick, but you're better for it. He surprises me with a spin kick that sends my Angel Wolf character flying across the screen. I focus back in the game and throw a barrage of punches into his demon character's face, sending blood splashing onto the screen. Oh? You know, it's just been hard to talk to you and Leo when you guys are all being lovey and shit. His words are mushy, starting to bleed into one another. His character throws a flaming spear at my angel, which I easily deflect with my shimmering shield. What the fuck game are you playing? I extend my wings and swoop in to throw my lightning bolts. Well, you know, no one really tried to talk to us when we were together. It was like we were making you guys uncomfortable. I watch his demon fly in the air, surrounded by a glowing white circle. Looking over, I see Carl frowning. No, I don't think so. His demon spreads its own much spikier wings and hovers up from the circle. He reaches up into the sky, and a red lightning bolt slams down into my character. You guys were just kind of self-absorbed. You didn't call me once after you guys started dating. Here I was thinking Carl never liked conflict. That sentence carried a lot of weight and a lot of years behind it. I'm not about to argue with him, though, especially after what happened with Jenna. What did happen with Jenna? That lightning bolt was it for my wolf angel, and his demon flies up into the screen and flips us off as winner is displayed. Well, there was college. Carl stretches, leaning back in his beanbag chair. I don't remember much of college anymore. He leans back in his chair and looks over at me. By the way, I have a job interview on Friday. My eyes widen. Don't act surprised, asshole. He hangs on. Last word with a lisp. Asshole. You're drunk, but that's awesome. Where at? A print shop. To be a production assistant. That sounds decent. Yeah, parents told me they'd buy me a car to get there. It's in Peyton, of course. Anyway, Flynn told me he'd give me a ride to the interview, but since you're here... He gives me a lazy sidelong glance. While I usually wouldn't have issue with it, the thought of how hard I've been procrastinating my school project is starting to make my stomach churn. Hey, how often will I get to hang out with Carl when the break is over? I'd love to take you. You know, we were gonna go out and do stuff tomorrow. Why don't we change your look? can get you new clothes or something for your interview. He keeps smiling. Sounds great. So what's it like kissing a dude? I let out a surprised laugh. What? You know, is it like more... He wiggles his paws uselessly in the air. I don't know. You kissed a girl, right? Samantha, right? I think so, but that was like 7th grade. So was it different? I laugh at him again. Pretty sure it's just like kissing a girl, man. You sure? I feel like kissing is different. I feel like kissing different species would have been even more different. Maybe. I've always sort of wanted to know what it's like. He says it slowly, deliberately, trying not to trip over his words. Yeah? I say it even slower because I think I know what Carl's getting at. I can see how guys could be sexy. Carl, are you coming out to me? He rolls over onto his stomach, facing me fully now. That's a good question. Maybe we can answer it. I'm a little buzzed, but not drunk. Are you asking if you can kiss me? He gazes at me lazily through lidded eyes, looking about ready to fall asleep. Only if you want. I'd been asked to be the experiment of a few guys in the past, in college, and I'd always said no. But Carl... Okay, here... We had a lot of talks about consent and shit. Is drunk, I shouldn't let him. Is different. I mean, he was cohesive enough to fucking play his video game, so he may or may not actually be that as drunk as he's letting on. Unless you just suck at the game. Just suck so bad that a guy who's barely awake is fucking whooping your ass. I mean, if we're pursuing Carl, we should say is different. You're not pushing it onto him. That's the big difference. If you were trying to push him into it, then, you know, at this point, I don't... it's complicated, but I don't think it's hopefully... It's different. Because he's your friend. And if you want... Carl's eyes widen slightly, and he lowers his gauges on hands and knees and crawls towards me. I was going to stand up, but it looks like he wants to actually get on the beanbag. Lean back in the bag, sinking into it a bit more. Carl kneels on my feet, looking unsure. Is this right? Yeah. Do you want me to stay? Before I know it, he's crawled up on top of me. His presence is heavy and warm, and I lean back, feeling myself get hard despite the awkwardness of it all. He looks down at me, into my eyes, and I feel myself blush. Sorry, is this okay? Yeah, it's fine. He leans down, pauses, then leans in all the way, and feel his soft white muzzle against mine. At the same time, I feel one of his paws slide behind my head. It's different than kissing Leo, or Samantha, way back in middle school. Carl's muzzle is big and more blunt, his lips softer and more malleable. It covers the entire front of my muzzle, his beard tickles my neck and cheeks. I expect him to pull back quickly, but he doesn't, keeping his paw behind my head and pressing deeper into the kiss. His other paw holds onto my upper arm. I open my eyes and see that his are closed. He hunches over me, closer, and I feel myself start to respond, reaching up to wrap my arms around his broad back. He huffs in response, and I feel his lips part and his tongue flicks against my lips. I start to open them, but that's when I feel the beanbag shift and Carl slides to the side. Somehow he manages to slip and fall on the wobbly beanbag, his mouth sliding sloppily off mine as he slumps down on top of me. I let out a grunt as his weight comes to rest on my chest. He chuckles and I can feel the spasms of all the way through my body. Oops. I laugh too and then wait a while, but he doesn't move. Carl, you can get off me now. He doesn't say anything. I'm about to say something else when I hear a deep snore next to my right ear. Carl! His response is another guttural snore. I shift onto him for the first time, realizing how actually fucking heavy he is. It's not exactly a bad feeling. His presence is enveloping and warm, and the beanbag under me is offering enough cushion so that I'm not getting crushed. The snoring isn't bad either. It's almost comforting as his breath tickles the hairs inside my ear. His big belly squishes up against my torso like a warm sandbag. My eyes are heavy, and slowly I wrap my arms around his back. I haven't had someone to sleep with in years, and now I realize how much I miss the feeling. Slowly the dim lights in Carl's room fade out, and I fall asleep to his comforting rhythmic snores. So was that a flashback, or what? Because I feel like it's... Stop! I heave for breath as I chase TJ down the dusty street, trying not to pop the water balloon that I am holding with my claws. You always chase me! TJ's whining again, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding. Even though he's a grade lower, he could outrun me easily. I can still keep up with him, though, since he's running around houses and mailboxes. My 4th grade brain is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. It's not too long before I have him backed up against the back of the Bentley's trailer home. He does a stupid dance while he's running back and forth, covering his head. Stop! I stick my tongue out of the side of my muzzle, following him back and forth with a balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still! No! He finally curls up into a ball against the house, crouching in the dirt in his blue swim trunks. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're not gonna try to run. He looks up in between his fingers. You always throw it too hard. Well, he suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode though, instead smacking against the splatter right back and instead smacking against his spotted back with a wet splat. Ow! He skids to a stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the balloon, grinning at how the tables have turned. Uh-oh. I start jogging backwards as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips the balloon too hard, and I can see how his claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw. Water showers his head, and dust kicks up as dark spots speckle the ground, just like his fur, I think. He gasps the way cats do whenever they get any water on him, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry and hold my breath, and I hold my breath because I don't want the game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too. That always happens to me. Well, don't hold it so hard. I wasn't. Yeah, you were. I saw. I see TJ's ears perk, and he looks over towards the front of the house. What? That's when I hear it too. With those water balloons? Don't touch me. I'm not touching you, just give me the fucking balloons. Clint and Jeremy. Carl must have followed us, and they saw him out the window. My guts drop to my feet as I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth, and I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. Go run and get Leo, he can help. Before I knew it, TJ's tearing across the backyards of the houses, up the block where Leo's filling water balloons. At least that's where I hope he's going. Slowly, I pad around the house, peeking around the corner to the front yard. Carl's standing with his fists clenched, staring wide-eyed, trying to look defiant, but I can tell he's terrified. Multicolored water balloons are scattered around his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. He always wore a shirt when we did water games. What's the matter, cunt face? Jesus, we're not gonna hate you. Yeah, right. Jeremy laughs stupidly at Clint and bends down to pick up a couple of water balloons. Clint starts circling around Carl when the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flaring. As he's looking the other way, Jeremy throws the water balloon right at Carl's face. Ooh. Following the smack of rubber on his muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house, knowing I should do something, but my legs aren't moving. Leave me alone! Carl's doing a good job of not crying, but he's about to. Hey, we're just playing! Clint leans down to pick up another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, dodging around the bent-over Clint towards the street. Clint's too fast, though, and his ring-tailed cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back before using his long tail to trip the ram up. Carl lands on his stomach with a loud grunt as Clint sits on his back, holding onto his horns. Jesus, he stepped on my tail. Clint grabs both of Carl's horns and leans back so far I can hear his spine cracking. Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns. With his face pointed at the sky, I can see tears rolling down his face now. The one eye I can see is open wide, and I think he sees me, but my legs won't move. Hey! Leo jogs up the street, pointing at Clint. The ringtail sneers, but drops Carl back to the ground and stands up as Leo gets closer. The fuck you want? Oh, I'm not saying that. Clint's weary, his casual demeanor more tense now that Leo's there. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before standing and running back up the street, his hooves clopping loudly all the way. Leo doesn't stop to even look at him, his eyes on Clint. I said, what do you want? You no understand? Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He'd only been here for less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I can see he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck. Fucking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy. Clint is afraid of Leo, and he left us alone ever since the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they're both 13, Leo is a head taller and almost twice as wide. Leave them alone. Clint stops. What? Leave them alone. Forever. Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, but unable to leave now that Leo has thrown out a challenge not in front of Jeremy. Or what? Or, he thinks for a second, is not good for you. Painful. I've not been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see a sudden movement from behind Leo, followed by another smack and a splash. Leo arches his back, hissing at the pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. The wolf whirls around, one paw rubbing his back as he snarls at Jeremy, who points and laughs. Ugh. Not saying that either. He doesn't see Clint running up at him from behind. Leo! I yelp out his name, and he does turn around, only to catch a sucker punch right in the stomach. Jesus! I can hear the thud along with all the air going out of him all the way here. From here, Leo stumbles back and stops with his paws on his knee. God. I wince and cover my eyes, only to pull them back down immediately to see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and biting his ear. Leo screams in pain, but immediately twists and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts an end to when he grabs the fox and sweeps him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams headfirst into an oak tree. He goes down. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the front door. Leo doesn't give him a chance, though, running forward and hitting him with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think you hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's fists start raining down on his face. Now all I can hear are crunchy, fleshy thuds as punch after punch hits Clint's face. You hear Leo, too. I don't even know what that means, but okay. The sounds Clint makes go from snarling to screaming to gurgling, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in a trance with how focused he is on hurting Clint. But again, I'm too terrified. I run in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry, that I should have helped by him somehow, but that I was so scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. Oh, the blood-red sky and everything. Jesus. The sky is red and orange, even though it was noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger, much bigger than it should be. The architecture is pointier, different. I walk around it slowly, looking for Carl. Looking down to see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I followed them anyway. They lead around back to the house, right up to a wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out to them, even though I feel like something terrible is welling up inside my stomach. I pull on them, but they're stuck, as if welded shut somehow. A window well next to the doors draws my attention. I get down on my knees, then on my stomach, and I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots in the glass, little paw prints breaking through a layer of old dust. The paw prints of children. The room is almost pitch black, but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawl across the ground. What the fuck? I don't know where I am at first as I open my eyes, but the dimmed Lucha Lobo lamp tells me. Laying there for a while, I realize that Carl's no longer on top of me. My face fur is a little wet and my nose is stuffy. I look around thinking Carl probably went back to his bed, but he's not there either. He must be getting a drink or something. A dull, far-off thud makes me open my eyes again. I listen carefully, starting to worry that the sound came from the downstairs. Again, I hear it and it makes me jump this time. Shit, is this happening again? I hear a voice coming from the same area directly below me. It's a lot more muffled, but I can still tell it's a voice, muttering and cursing. Carl? The voice sounds weak and warbly in the heavy silence of the dark house. The scuffling sounds below me stop for a second, though, then start up again, more vigorous now. Slowly I sit up, listening to the whispering and thumping beneath me. My mind flashes to Duke, the weasel foot forward, his eyes locked on me. Finally, the anxiety gets to me, and I stand up, looking as quietly as I can to the room in the hallway. The kitchen is dark, and I move over to the front of the door and check to see if it's locked. It is, so I move over to the stairs and look down into the inky blackness, almost afraid to turn on the lights. Nothing jumps out at me when I do, but the light is actually making me more afraid, knowing that it will light up anything that's down there. I move down the stairs as quickly as I can, every creak making my fur bristle. The scraping sound is louder now, and so is the voice. I'm almost positive that it's Carl, but I can't be sure. I call his name out again, but it's almost a whisper in my throat. I clasp my paws together against my chest, eyes flicking to each doorway as I slowly move down the hall, not wanting Carl to get the jump on me. When I finally get to the crawlspace door, I can pick up a rhythmic thumping along with the scrapes of muttering, which is much clearer now. Buried inside, help. I shiver. Carl, this isn't funny. Again, my voice is weak and unconvincing. He probably didn't even hear me. The thump almost shakes the house, and I thump. What the hell is he doing? Is that even Carl? Did whoever is down here murder him and now is in the process of burying his body? Fear is too much, and I know I have to open the door now and put an end to this stupid prank, or I'm going to call 911 to make everything worse. With each step I take towards the door, it feels like the air is getting more electrified, the charge making my fur stand on all ends of my body. All over my body. As soon as I touch the tiny knob of the door, I start to pull it open, though. The sound stops. I freeze, listening hard, and I get the feeling that whatever is down here is doing the exact same thing. Then I hear a series of thuds as whatever it was runs at the door. I fall back, and I can't help myself from shrieking, laying on my ass and scooting backwards with my paws and my feet. You fucker! The door flies open on my face-to-face with a dusty Carl. Carl, what the fuck? I scream at him, my chest heaving as I clutch it, like I'm about to have a heart attack. He looks confused, looking around and back at me, breathing hard himself. I wait, but he doesn't say anything. There's white dust all over his horns and on his shoulders. Just what? Hail at him again and he jumps. I'd feel bad if I wasn't so freaked out. I'd sleepwalk sometimes, okay? I debate whether or not to accept that as an answer, but he looks confused enough that it just might be true. Scared the shit out of me! Carl moves out of the crawl space, leaning over to brush his head off. Scared the shit out of me! I didn't know where I was! I slowly get to my feet, still breathing heavily. What is that stuff? What are you doing in there? This dust is dirty down there. Again, I feel like he's leaving stuff out. I try to look past him into the crawl space, but he closes the door. Come on, I need a smoke after that. I stand back to let him pass, tempted to open the door again. He grabs my arm when he sees me looking, though. Seriously, dude, let's go. I don't really want to be alone in this house right now. Please. I look at him and I can tell he's definitely freaked out. I would be too if I woke up in that crawl space. Yeah, let's go. So I follow him, looking back at the door before flicking off the light. Thursday. What the actual fuck? Are you sure you don't want to come down? Carl lays spread out on his bed, game controller clutched in both of his paws that are thrown over his head against the pillow. He offers me a glance, but returns back to his game. This time it's a new-looking open-world fantasy, and honestly, I'd much rather be watching him play it than doing homework. I just don't want to distract you, man. You know how much help I am. I frown. It'll be more for the company than anything. Don't you want to look around through that stuff, too? Carl screws up his muzzle as if contemplating. I've seen most of it, dude. I wrapped half the stuff down I've seen in there. Alright. I pause, but he doesn't say anything. It's clear he's not interested, so I have no reason to nag him. Still, it sort of hurts my feelings. As I make my way to the basement alone, I realize another reason why I would have appreciated Carl's company. The house is creepy as fuck. I've always been a bit of a pussy when it comes to scary things. I mean, once, after I'd seen a scary movie about possession, I'd been afraid to sleep for weeks, mainly because my nightmares can seem so real. It took almost a month for me to manage it without the lights on, and I was 18 at the time. Now I mentally kick myself for remembering that movie while I'm down in this Carl's creepy basement alone. Once I get to the crawl space, I do an awkward half run to the flood lamp that probably would have made Carl laugh his ass off. The crawl space is really fucking creepy. I imagine Carl sleepwalking down here, which I'm pretty sure is what happened last night, and walking up alone in the dark. I can understand why he was freaked out. The sight of the plastic tarp at the bottom of the steps brings back memories of the tarantula as well. Shit. I have a good reason not to go down here at all. I still don't know if what I saw was real or some kind of hypnagogic hallucination that my mind always seems so keen to throw at me. I scan the tarp. It's white and clean surface, free of any insects as far as I can tell. I shudder again before making my way slowly down the steps, eyes still darting around. Come on, you idiot. This is ridiculous. When I was younger, I used to have a problem where I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see spiders crawling up my walls. Ugh. I'd scream, and one of my parents would come running in to tell me nothing was there. My dad talked to the psychologist friend who told him it was normal, so we didn't do anything about it. Over time, the hallucinations stopped. They didn't come back until I took the night shift near my university's campus. After that, I started to get sleep paralysis, and about half the time, spiders were involved. My feet crunched their way across the tarp, back towards the tubs that I knew were marked history. I stared at them for a second, remembering that 2 days ago the tubs had been turned to have their sides facing the entrance into the crawl space. I clearly remember seeing them that way over Carl's shoulder, right before I saw the tarantula. Now they're turned so their ends are pointed to the front. I frown, but the prickling feeling on my neck doesn't feel good, especially with me being alone down here. So I shoved that thought to the back of my mind and grabbed the end of the bottom tub so I could start dragging it back toward the stairs. Sitting down and taking the lids off, I start sifting through the contents. Again, something isn't right. There are a few empty wrappers lying around among the artifacts, as if someone had unwrapped a few trinkets before taking them. I wonder if Carl decided to take a few things? God knows why he would. I removed the wrappers, 3 in all, and set them to the side before digging further in. This particular tub has a divider in it. As I start unwrapping things, I realize that one side is for the harder artifacts, like keys or knitting needles. The other has mostly paper items, like photos and documents. On the paper side, I see a thick folder labeled Biography of James Hendricks. My eyes widen. Now that would come in handy. Is this a book, or... As I open it up, I find a bunch of loose papers inside. While it's clearly copy paper, it's old enough in its own right. I move back down to the tarp so I can start spreading the documents out, not wanting to lose anything. I'm breathing heavily at this point, hardly believing my luck. There are hundreds of pages, and I hardly know where to start. After a while, I begin to deduce what this is. Someone's been trying to write a book on James Hendricks. From what I can tell, it was Carl's mother, Tricia. Some of the documents were typed out on a typewriter, so this might have been started as far back as the 80s. Getting married, having kids, running a company probably slowed things down a little bit. I grin. Well, it's too bad that this might never see publication. Carl's mom has no idea how much she saved my ass. On top of that, she got it all organized. One divider indicates James Hendricks, while another marks Emma Hendricks, who I assume is James's wife. A few of them are filled with several names: Marilyn Smith, John Begay, Yanaha Begay, Christopher Leeway. Finally, the last section of the binder is filled with dividers indicating dates. Those. I probably should have looked at those, but I didn't. I'll start with that, my fingers shaking a bit at the excitement as I start poring over Trish's meticulous timeline, using my phone to take notes. James was born in 1825 to an immigrant family from that place. Era. His family faced oppressive prejudice the day they arrived in the country. Despite this, they managed to make a living, with James's father becoming a plumber, a profession that mainly dealt with lead. Wouldn't it mainly deal with shit, as he is a plumber? His father, Martin, was abusive, even more so than was acceptable for the time, and James suffered greatly for it. The mysterious death of his 5-year-old sister, Martha, led many of the townspeople to suspect murder on the father's part, but this was never proven. James left home when he was 15. He told his remaining sibling, Jane, that if he were able, he'd find a place for both of them to stay and escape their father. Not much is known about James Hendricks between 1840 and 1849, with Tricia assuming that he simply job-hopped around the tri-state area. What is known is that James set out west in 1850 during the gold rush. Luck struck quick with James, finding gold in a quartz deposit in 1852. The first person James confided in about the find was his only friend, John Begay. John was a native desert fox who would go on to become James's business partner. With John's help, James officially laid claim to the mine before turning it into a business. While Echo was originally a small camp of less than 20 people, it became a mini boom town. Over 2,000 people arrived within the next 3 years. Things went well for James after that. He became rich, built a mansion in Echo, and lived off the mine's seemingly endless flow of gold. He sent Jane, who was married with a large family at that point, a yearly sum of money. Meanwhile, no money was sent to his parents, who were living in deep poverty. Things changed for James in 1875, though, when he was accused of sodomy with John Begay. My God! The land being lawless at the time, John Begay was hanged by the locals. Holy shit! James was never convicted of the crime, likely because of his strong influence in the town. However, the ostracism grew to be too much, and in 1878, he left to live in solitude on the west coast. He died there in his villa in 1891 from cancer of the lungs. Fuck! I rubbed my eyes and checked the time. 3 hours have passed already, and it's late in the afternoon. Apparently Carl's game is so good he hasn't even bothered to come down and check on me. I sigh and gather up a few of the items, a pocket watch, what looks like a nugget of gold, and what I think is a stamp with a crest on it. I'll need to take the pictures outside considering how dim it is down here. I lay the items down on the adobe sidewalk that leads up to Carl's house. Deciding it will make a suitable background, I start taking pictures. Hours after the discovery of the binder, I'm still relieved. I was really starting to worry with how little time I had left, but Trisha's research has saved me hours of time. In fact, she'd probably laid everything out for me. I literally jump out of my skin and spin around, still clutching at my camera. Behind me, I could see the window still rattling from the force of whatever had been knocked on it. It's a basement window, and a window well, though I can't see anything behind it. It's too dark. I stare for a while, frowning. The fuck was Carl doing? Did he go back downstairs and somehow see me through the window and decide to scare me? I slowly got the artifacts back up and placed them in my bag, keeping an eye on the window as I do. If you wanted to pull that shit, then I could play at that game too. The only problem is that Carl isn't in the basement. From what I can gather, it was the window next to the crawl space that was hit. Looking out, I can see the spot where it must have been standing. The chills return as I shiver as I move back to the crawl space. It had to have been Carl, though I don't get why he would have stayed down here until I came back. Why he wouldn't have? Did I read that wrong? Why he wouldn't have stayed down here until I came back. I gather everything back up and start to place them back into the tub in the same order I had taken them out. And that's when I noticed something. At the very bottom of the tub, in a plastic baggie, has been opened with its contents spilled out. I set down the binder, which I had been about to put away, and reach in, sifting through the spilled papers. They're newspaper clippings from the town of Peyton. They're incredibly old, and I can't imagine this is the best way to preserve them. Either way, the fashion in which they're carelessly spread out across the bottom of the tub makes me wince. I don't remember leaving it this way, and it makes me feel sick that I could have damaged any of it. Slowly, I push the clippings back into the baggie, making sure to seal it tight after I do. From what I can see, nothing's been visibly damaged. I sigh before putting everything back into the tub and shutting it with the lid, making sure it's sealed tight. It's a shame that it's been so difficult for Carl's family to set up the museum. But from the looks of it, this stuff isn't going to last much longer without proper preservation. Finally, I drag the tubs back and subconsciously take note of exactly how I left them before heading back upstairs. When I get upstairs, though, Carl's asleep. His controller's still above his head, clutched in his paws as if he'd fallen asleep the moment I'd left. On the screen, his character is immobile, standing in the middle of some hut. A single NPC stands in front of him, walking back and forth. Every now and then it stops in front of him, exclaiming, "What are you doing in my hut?" I reach out and place a paw on his shoulder, and he immediately opens his eyes, snorting loudly. He sits up and rubs at his face, snorting again as he breathes deeply. "Did you go downstairs?" "Huh? What happened?" It's almost funny how utterly confused he looks. If he's acting, he's doing a damn good job of it. I heard some noises downstairs. Thought it was you.
No, I don't think so.
Things were moved around, too. He takes in a deep breath before blowing it out.
I told you, man, this place is haunted. I wasn't joking.
We both look at each other for a moment. Finally, Carl breaks the awkward silence.
So how'd it go, aside from the ghosts?
It went alright, just 3 hours and a bunch of research. He looks at me blearily.
Oh shit, seriously? I was gonna come down after a while, I just...
Fell asleep? Yeah. Anyway, we were supposed to go out today.
Really?
Yeah, remember you said a few days ago? Carl looks around.
Well, what'd you want to do?
I think. Did you have an interview tomorrow?
Don't remind me.
Oh, so that wasn't a flashback. That happened... What? Okay, that's weird. Why would he... What? So why were we talking about me and Leo being over if they had already broken up a while? What? I'm very confused now. Carl picks up his controller again and I frown. Well, I was thinking we could go out and maybe give you a new look. Now Carl frowns, clicking away at the controller.
Like what?
Your clothes, for one. Do you have any dress clothes? You don't? Seriously? Have you ever had an interview before?
Well, yeah, it's just that I've grown out of them.
Uh-huh. We'll definitely need you to get some of those. Well, I definitely need to get you some of those. I look at his beard thoughtfully. Maybe we should give you a more clean-cut look? Carl doesn't say anything and instead goes on frowning. I put a paw down on his controller, forcing him to pause. Come on, it could be fun. You can't stay in this room forever. He finally does look at me, then his expression is kind of sad. What's wrong? Carl looks away, then stands up slowly, his joints popping.
Nothing. If it makes you happy, then why not?
Great.
So you know, I'd rather play some video games with you.
It's tempting. Just watching Carl play is a lot of fun with his style and commentary. But this is more important. I really want to help him out. Maybe later tonight. Let's get this done first. So apparently your great-great-great-great-great-grandpa was accused of sodomy.
What?
Carl looks up from his phone, his muzzle hole wrinkled. Yep, with John Begay, who... I just caught that. Accused of sodomy with John Begay. Ah, for fuck's sake. Well, I'm almost positive it's related to Jenna, but I'll have to ask her.
Are you serious? How'd you find that out?
He pauses.
And maybe don't ask Jenna about that.
From what I can tell, your mom's trying to write a book. Carl strokes his beard.
Oh yeah, she is, isn't she? Well, was more like. I don't think she's worked on it in years.
From the looks of it, she started out in college.
Damn.
Carl thinks again.
Thinking of your parents as your own age is gross.
Huh? Carl's phone starts buzzing.
And speaking of Jenna, she's calling me.
Carl looks a bit perturbed, but he puts on a cheerful voice as he answers it.
Yo, whale ears.
Ah, that old name. As he listens to her response, I see a smile slowly slide off his face. I can hear the sharp, muffled tones of Jenna's voice, even though he's holding the phone up to the other side of his face. I guess she cuts him off because he doesn't finish. I glare. Here, let me talk to her. The way Jenna acted yesterday, which isn't like her at all, is giving me a pretty good idea of what she's going off about right now. Carl doesn't give me the phone, though, instead just staring out of the windshield as we continue down the highway. Finally, he lowers the phone from his ear and stares at the screen for a while. She hang up?
Yes, it's something about how Leo's depressed now, and how us hanging out by ourselves isn't helping things.
I roll my eyes. You know what? Fuck Jenna. She's been on one since Leo's day didn't go the way he wanted to. On one what? I don't know what that means, but since Leo's day didn't go the way he wanted to. For some reason, she just wants to blame you.
Yeah.
Carl looks out his window, so I can't really gauge the mood he's in. I said, yeah, let's get something to eat first. I'll buy.
No, my parents are rich. I'll pay.
I can't exactly argue with that, so I don't. I also don't feel like I can leave it at that, so hesitantly I reach out with a paw and place it on Carl's shoulder. Seriously, let's have fun today, okay? Forget Jenna. He looks over at me and gives me a sad smile. I'm fine, Chase. I just want to get this over with so we can go back and play some more games. I sigh. Is that all you think about these days? Hey, lots of people play games for a living. Name one. Rob Lowe. That's a sport. Still a game. I grin as I hear that jokey playfulness back in his voice. Glad I'm able to take his mind off of Jennifer for that moment. Well, at least that keeps them active. Playing games all day will get you unhealthy. Fat? If you didn't notice, I'm already there. You're not that bad. I swear you're mostly muscle. Then I guess I've got nothing to worry about. But you should get out more. Why? I've got entire worlds in my game. I don't know. What about girls? They're in games too. You can't exactly touch a boob with your actual paws in a game. I don't know. I swear they've got those in anime land. You know what I mean. Already done it. Not that great. You're a queer or something? What the fuck? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, what the fuck? Say that with a southern accent. It was supposed to be, yeah, queer or something. Let's just say I don't label my sexuality. I'll let that sit for a second. It's a pretty queer thing. What the hell? Is I'm a pretty queer dude then? Is that so? Besides, until I'm able to see my hooves again, I don't think any girls are gonna go after me. Well, that's what we're doing right now, trying to give you a new look, fresh start. It'll boost your confidence and your appeal. You'll have girls and boys after you. Again, Carl doesn't act very enthused about that. I tell myself it's only because he has to go out. Once we get there, I'm sure he'll cheer her up. This is a hot topic. What the fuck is this? I swear, every store in Peyton Mall is dark and covered in neon. Carl stands there awkwardly, looking around as if unsure about what to do. So what kind of look do you want to go for? Carl looks at me like I'm crazy. Seriously, dude, I have no idea. You brought me here. Just work with this for the next hour, and I promise we can go to the game store next. Carl makes a big show of sighing, but oh god. But I assume the twitch in his ears indicates that he'd like that a lot. Oh, it's just dress clothes, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. Carl's getting all insecure the way he did during the surprise birthday party. He's an introvert. He has social anxiety. Fucking hell. It's kind of cute. Carl? Chase? The voice comes from behind me, and Carl smiles over my shoulder before I turn around. Raven? Oh, who the hell is this now? The black and white two-tone husky is just a few feet behind me, grinning. How long's it been? Too long, man. What are you doing here? Family moved back after Dad got fired. Now I work here. I could ask the same about you, Chase. Oh, I'm just on a spring break right now. You work in a clothing store now? Raven laughs. No, I'm a store down. I work at Game Central. Carl perks up at that. So, you're still in school, huh? Well, it's great to see you. Raven's accent is only slightly detectable now. The only noticeable foreign thing about him is his name. Raven, what nationality is that? You want me to do an accent? You need to tell me. So what are you guys doing here? Getting clothes? Yeah, for Carl, actually. He has an interview tomorrow. For some reason, Carl ducks his head at that, and through his ears, I can see him blush deeply. Oh, really? It's about time. I mean, I have had a job before. So what kind are you looking for? Oh, fuck. What kind of look are you going for? God damn. I've been recording for like 9 hours. When Carl doesn't answer, I speak up. That's what we were trying to figure out just now, actually. Carl shrinks further into himself, his hat seeming to fall further over his eyes. Dude, it's just dress clothes, really. Well, I think you should get a red tie at least. Maybe go good with your eyes. Then maybe trim that beard. Since when are you a fashionista? Come on, Carl. Let's at least try it out. Carl sighs, rubbing his forehead. Okay, fine, but only as long as we're out of here in the next hour. Hey, I gotta get back to work, but I'll be free in about an hour. Let's catch up. I wave at Raven, then turn to Carl. That was nice. Didn't think I'd ever see him again. Me either, actually. I'll have to hang out with him more. I mean, I like Flynn, but having to put up with him just to get a ride to the store isn't always worth it. Well, anyway, if you're wanting to get out of here in an hour, I think we should probably get started. The process is a lot less painful than Carl makes it out to be. Soon enough, we're on our way to the food court. Carl's carrying a bag way too big for the contents inside. We meet Raven again, and once we get our food, he suggests we eat outside. In this nice, empty parking lot. I looked from my full combo meal to Carl's small, tiny container of tater tots. You not hungry? Carl just shrugs and grins at me. You just don't know the ways of the fatty. Huh? We're judged all the time, especially when we're eating. He delicately bites on a tater tot in half before adopting a sarcastic tone. Ew, gross, of course he's eating. Seems kind of unfair. See, Raven thinks so too. Husky is in the middle of a huge bite of his Subway sandwich, his eyes on Carl. He swallows before speaking. I can see that you're as self-deprecating as ever. You know me. So, Chase, are you still dating that wolf, Leon? Leo, and no. I ignore the sidelong glance I get from Carl. Sorry about that. You two are really cute together. It's hard to know what to say to people when people comment on your relationship. If someone isn't homophobic, gay relationships are usually cute or adorable. Or maybe it was just the size difference. But seriously, I've always wanted to date an otter. Oh, really? Yeah, they're adorable. Swimming clowns. Do tell. Raven picks up on my sarcastic tone right away, but it doesn't seem to faze him. Well, yeah, you know what they say about otters and blowjobs. What? Carl almost chokes on his last tater tot. The hell, Raven? You barely know him and you're saying that shit? Carl's laughing, though. I'm sure to keep my face passive. Oh, what do they say about otters and blowjobs? Raven laughs. You know, they never have to come up for air. 10 minutes, non-stop. Raven giggles and makes a visible effort to keep a straight face. Sorry, I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just one of these jokes I always hear. You can imagine I do too, and it's 8 minutes, by the way. I'd take that too. Carl crumples up a straw wrapper and flicks it off Raven's bluish-looking nose, to which he simply smiles. Carl stands up. Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Raven, don't be a dick. I'm not. We both watch Carl amble off before Raven turns back to me, that dopey smile back on his face. So how long are you gonna be here, Chase? We need to catch up. Isn't that what we're doing right now? What the fuck? I wonder what catching up means when our biggest interaction up until this point was dissecting a shark in high school biology. Sunday. School starts up again on Monday. Despite having a head start on the project thanks to Carl's mom, I still get a nervous twinge in my stomach. I still have a lot left to do. Voiceovers, B-rolls, and oh god, editing. I know, right? God! This video alone, since it's fucking, gonna be an hour long, is gonna take, 5. And then that's not including rendering. Ugh. We should hang out. His adorable excitement is barely contained, and I'm pretty sure I can hear the thumping of his tail against the curb as we're sitting on. Despite my earlier offensive stereotyping of otters, I'm reminded about how much worse dogs get it. They're not common in Echo, or this side of the world for that matter. While otters are thought of as entertainers, I feel like it's better than dealing with being seen as a simpleton. So the main reason I'm here is to do a news segment on Echo for class. Oh, is it going to be on TV? I laugh. No, I mean, maybe I could get it into rotation on college TV station, but otherwise no. Well, that's still pretty cool. But my point is that it's kind of boring. What? It's just a bunch of writing, or mostly going through old stuff? Carl's family saved a bunch of artifacts from the old days. Whoa, so you're actually touching the old stuff? Yeah. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but yeah. That sounds awesome! His outgoing nature is kind of infectious. I smile. Well, if you're really interested, I wouldn't mind having some help. That's great! I have the next 2 days off! Cool. We'll ask Carl when he gets back. It takes a while for the ram to return, but when he does, he seems a bit reluctant to agree to the idea, which kind of surprises me. But eventually we convince him, and we make plans for Raven to come over the next day. As we're heading back out to the car, I nudge Carl, forcing him into a slight stumble. Huh? What's up? What do you mean? I try to keep my tone light. You seem a bit down. Actually, you have all day. Carl shrugs. I nudge him again, and he giggles. I don't know. It's just awkward coming out here and having you two just examine me like that. Oh, yeah? Yeah, dude, it feels kind of weird is all. I stay silent for a moment, wondering if I had made the right decision in doing all this. Well, I'm just trying to help you out, you know? I know, bro. It's cool. Seriously, I've been thinking, your main problem is worrying about going out in public, like a social anxiety. Whoa, now you're sounding like Jenna. We get to my car and he smiles over at me over the roof while I unlock the doors. I feel like if we can break through that, it'll help you out a bunch. I break eye contact as we slide into our respective seats. And I think this job will be a huge part of that, so I really want you to get it. As I lean to the side and put on my seatbelt, I feel something soft and warm pressed to my cheek. It only lasts for a second, but then it's gone. I look over at Carl, but he's looking out the window. Did you just kiss me? Yeah, bro. Are you high? No, I mean, maybe. He giggles. So yes. Slowly, I pull out of the parking space. If he hadn't made a move on me last night, I might have been a little more shocked. Where the hell did you get high, anyway? Alley behind the mall. Charming. Yeah, pretty sure I got a few needles stuck in my hooves. Jesus. We drive in silence for a while, Carl looking out at the desert scenery while I squint out the windshield, trying to see through the hazy orange sunset. I didn't mean that, by the way. What? Just thanks. Sure. I don't know what else to say, so I leave it at that, and we drive along in the pleasant silence. Carl still seems a little sad, but I can't pinpoint why. I'm hoping that it's just a phase. That by the time this interview is over, he'll be able to get past his anxiety and finally be done feeling like a failure at everything. Yes? Hello? Oh, there we go. Oh shit. Oh shit, there is something happening. And we're gonna find out what it is in the next episode. Because this episode has been way too goddamn long as it is. I decided I wanted to do an extra long episode of Echo because, quite honestly, I'm gonna be honest here, this is the game I'm the most interested in right now out of the main four I'm playing. So I want to know more about the game, but I can't always do hour-long episodes because them shits take, like I said, way too fucking long to do. So, this is my last episode for today. I'm done recording after I'm done doing this outro. I've been recording since like 4 o'clock and it's almost 10 now. I'm sick today. It's not good. This is not good. I'm not doing a voice right now. It's not good. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Echo. On the next one, we'll see what is causing this familiar numbing heaviness in his body. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I have been the trained unprofessional, speaking for the voices in my head when I say until next time, fare thee well. Bye!